The Water Diary, brought to you by the Department of Water and Sanitation.
We turn the tap and water comes gushing out. This privilege is part of our constitution, that every South African should have access to water and decent sanitation. But delivering on water is a complex business and science. That's why on this show, The Water Diary, we plan to inform, educate and conscientize South Africans on water, our most precious resource. My name is Mpoputini and a warm welcome to The Water Diary, right here on SABC1 Mzansi for sure. It is brought to you by the Department of Water and Sanitation and SABC Education.
We kick off today's episode by going to go visit the hardest working women in our water industry. That is our minister, Ms. Nomvula Munkonyane.
Minister, we recently hosted the ICOLD conference, and in your address, you mentioned the need for innovative solutions that you require to boost the economy and provide water to the poor who are yet to receive access to water. Where are we currently?
We have, as a country, through the Department of Water and Sanitation, called on young people, research institutions, to provide alternatives in terms of sanitation solution, given the fact that we are a water scarce country. We've also looked at the infrastructure that deals with water treatment in our country, and all our solutions are solutions that demand high energy, which we are still challenged as a country, and therefore innovation in terms of better management of wastewater treatment, as well as better utilization of water to generate energy, as well as better use of energy to distribute water. And finally, making sure that we are able to have irrigation solutions that do not consume more water than what is needed by the crops that we grow. The other thing on the big infrastructure such as dams, the solutions we are looking at are dams that are not just going to be for a single purpose, because historically South Africa was focusing on building single-purpose dams. We are now diversifying the use of the infrastructure that we are building, so that then we don't build huge dams in the villages and have pipes running across going to the mines or to industry, but we now creating multi-purpose dams that also contribute towards serving those that have historically never been served.
Obviously, water is a scarce resource. How would you advise our viewers to use and save water?
Very simple things that we can do. Those of us who are charged with the responsibility of leading the water sector, we need to be quite passionate about it. We need to use the resources that are at our disposal in a responsible manner. We need to build partnerships to make sure that everybody plays his or her role. The other thing that we definitely need to do is to change our behavior. When there's a burst pipe and somebody in the neighborhood lays a complaint, we need a responsive local government that will come in and save this water that we all say it's a scarce resource. We need to employ capable men and women in all our three spheres of government, so that then they can be able to look after this precious asset that we all say water is life. The second thing, it's about me and you. Imagine if the drop that you now leave running through your tap will be the last drop. You will not have any substitute for water. So behavioral change, just simple things of when you brush your teeth, when you get into a shower, get in, wash, get out. And those of us who use makeup and can afford, find other solutions to take off what you have put on your face and save that volume of water that we have. Our building standards in South Africa must change. You can't mix sand and cement using drinkable water. So we are working together with the building environment to say, let's look at the use of alternative material, so that then we don't use this water that we need for domestic consumption, for food security, to just build a house. The other thing that we definitely have to look at is to make sure that the polluter pays. Water is so precious. South Africa historically is known to be having the most reliable quality water. You drink from the tap. In other countries, the minute you land, you are told, don't drink, don't consume this water. It's even written next to the tap. With us, this is it. So we need to make sure that for that maintenance of our infrastructure does not compromise this precious quality water that we have.
Minister, before we wrap things up, what opportunities are there for young people within the water and sanitation sector?
One of the key things that we really are pushing hard and radically so in the water sector is the transformation of the sector. It has been predominantly white and male, not accommodative of other sectors and particularly women. So it can be correct that you only have women through political leadership. Amongst other things that we are doing, we have launched a program called incubation program for women, where our intention is to absorb women into the scheme so that they can also be project managers. They can contribute towards the design and the construction and the maintenance of a dam, and they can also participate in some of our innovative solutions and stuff. We're investing a lot on research through our Water Research Commission, and many of our solutions come from young people. So there's a lot of opportunities. We need engineers. Our engineers are aging and are almost out of the system. So we need to attract our young people to come in and be part of this solution. We have a program where we're targeting 15,000 young South Africans who are part of what we call the war on leaks. This is about saving water because we're losing almost 7 billion worth of water per annum. I don't know how much the volume of that water. Surely it should be a lot. And the target, it's our young people. It's a 3-year program where we have water ambassadors, where we have artisans that we are grooming, where we are building project managers who are going to be placed in municipalities, in water boards, working for communities, who are guaranteed that upon completion of these programs, they will forever remain in the water sector. So it is those things that we are doing. And our partnership with the Department of Higher Education and the Department of Science and Technology has also brought in a number of young women who are also quite keen to become water engineers. So the reskilling of young people is also quite important. Some of the opportunities like maintenance, we are going to have set aside for young people, because if we're saying water is life, those who are responsible for the future of this country must come and look after this precious asset.
Minister, thank you so much for your time. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
The Water Diary.
Welcome back to the Water Diary, right on SABC1, Mzansi for sure. I really hope you're enjoying our educational program on water. Now, recently South Africa hosted the ICOLD 2016, and we had an opportunity to engage with a young engineer.
South Africa recently hosted the International Commission on Large Dams. This is the 84th ICOLD annual meeting, and here is Wally Ramukopa to tell us more about the event.
Wally, we are at the 84th edition of the ICOLD event. What is ICOLD?
ICOLD stands for the International Committee on Large Dams. It's actually an international body where engineers in the dam engineering fraternity actually share ideas, knowledge, and also, if I can put it in this way, it's the FIFA of dam engineering, because we've got the South African National Committee on Large Dams, which will actually equate it to your SAFA. So ICOLD is a mother body, and it has got about 96 member countries represented, of which 77 are actually in this current event here in South Africa.
How did South Africa get to host the ICOLD 2016?
As I said, 96 countries, we had to bid for this event. We had to bid for this event, and it was announced in 2013 during the USA ICOLD event in Seattle in Washington State that South Africa actually has won the bid to host the 2016 event. A number of countries we lobbied and companies as well to actually vote for us to be the successful host for this event. the South African government, through the Department of National Water and Sanitation, actually also supported the event by guaranteeing even a certain amount of money for us to actually be able to organize this particular event.
What are some of the benefits of hosting such an event for South Africa?
For this year, South Africa actually experienced serious drought. So this kind of experience actually has been experienced by other countries before. So we actually sharing knowledge with other countries in terms of dam engineering, drought mitigation, even innovation and technology. So this is actually an event where actually engineers worldwide in the dam engineering fraternity, they interact with each other on lessons learned, new technology, so that we don't reinvent the wheel, because it won't be of use for us to try and reinvent something that has been designed elsewhere. So we're sharing that kind of knowledge to ensure that the country and the world at large, we're actually benefiting, because water has no boundaries. So we're actually also sharing river basins. Currently now there's issues at Kariba Dam, of dam safety issues. Now South Africa, we actually busy also, we doing rehabilitation of dams. Kariba can, or Zambia rather, they can actually learn from what have we done in this country to mitigate the dam safety issues which they're experiencing currently.
Now, Wally, engineers play a very vital role in different sectors. How can we persuade young people to pursue engineering? You
know, when I was growing up, actually, I wanted to be a doctor, but I didn't know about engineering. The only engineering that I knew about was engines. I thought engineering is about mechanics, engines. But I think universities and the government as well, through different organizations and national departments, they can actually reach out to the schools, to the high institutes of learning, and actually educate a little bit more our young people as to what is engineering, because it's a very broad sector. I mean, we've got your civil, mechanical, electrical, chemical, metallurgical. People don't know about these things. So until the time comes for higher learning institutions and also government to reach out, we can actually encourage young people to study engineering, because a lot has been done in this country. We're having a lot of challenges in infrastructure, roads, water, energy. So that is engineering. So until such time that we actually encourage people to actually play a role in this sector, then we won't be playing a good role and actually trying to ensure that capacity building is actually being enhanced in this country. So we really need a government department to actually reach out.
For those of you interested in pursuing a career as an engineer in the water industry, we now talk to Mushodi, who is from the Young Engineers Forum.
Mushodi, there are a lot of opportunities within the water industry. Tell me what attracted you to engineering?
Well, thank you very much for firstly inviting me here. I won't lie to you, the engineering sector as it is, it's very rewarding, both on a personal level and on a financial level. I've always been a person that's intrigued and a bit curious about how things work, how to provide solutions. I'm a creator naturally, so I think that's what attracted me to engineering as a space, I think it was just fate that I met, or I went into a program that the department had at the time.
Now, the Water and Sanitation Department played a very vital role in your career as an engineer. Please share your story with us.
So my journey with the department started in 2004, back in high school, and we were asked to develop something that can either save water or create awareness around water within our communities. So I'm originally from the Free State. It's a very arid area, it's a big farming area, and we then developed an irrigation control system at the time. We won the South African Youth Water Prize, and we won the Stockholm Youth Water Prize in Sweden. So one of the awards was a fully paid scholarship by the department anywhere where I'd wanted to study, but it had to be water related. So I think it was organic that I then went into civil engineering. It's got a lot of facets to it, but water engineering is sort of a subset of civil engineering. So bridges, roads, buildings, really anything that you see around you, it's a product of civil engineering.
Now, what are your goals as a young South African engineer?
I think I'll contextualize it in the sense that what are my goals as a young black engineer in a new South Africa? I think that a lot of us are made by the communities that we come from that necessarily didn't have engineers. I didn't grow up seeing a black engineer. So my goal as a young black engineer is to plow back into my community, but also create an awareness to other young people that black communities can create engineers. Black communities should have good infrastructure that's comparable to anywhere in the world where there's engineers. So my goal, it's not necessarily in water, but is to be an accountable engineer within the space that I come from.
Your advice to budding engineers?
Look, it boils down to exactly what I just said. We come from a country with a very painful history with exclusion, and there's not a lot of black young engineers, but they are certainly coming up. Our government has worked very hard through programs that I was in and others that are similar to create engineers. So my advice to young and upcoming engineers is it's very tough. There's a lot of hard work that goes into it, but it's a consistently rewarding profession with a bright future. They just need to put in the hard work, they just need to be dedicated. But the challenge that I want to give to them is to look within their communities, in the townships, in the villages, and use their engineering training to change those spaces, use their training to make the lives of their communities better. That's why I am here today, because I thought about how do I improve the lives of my community, or how do I bring a solution into my community, and that's engineering.
For those of you that want to get more details about a career in engineering, as well as bursaries, internships, and other learnership programs from the Department of Water and Sanitation, here are the contact details on the screen. Remember, for more details, log on to our website. That's www.dws.gov.za. The Water Diary.
Welcome back to the Water Diary, right here on SABC1, Mzansi for sure. Now, we absolutely love hearing from you. Feel free to interact with us on social media. Our handles are on the screen. Send us your questions, send us your comments. We love hearing from you. Without wasting any time, it's time now to go to the Water Research Commission.
It's time now to find out more about the Water Research Commission. Mpho spent time with the CEO, Mr. Desigan Naidu.
Mr. Naidu, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Please tell us, why is it important for South Africa to be water conscious?
Well, firstly, water is life. There is nothing we can do without water. We depend on it for our survival. Our economy depends on it to be successful. Our people depend on it to have a reasonable quality of life. And South Africa is a water-scarce country. We are the 30th driest country in the world. If we do not use our water wisely, if we do not use our water in a sustainable development paradigm, we will not only deny ourselves today with the access to water, but we will be denying future generations their own water security.
How can our viewers and ordinary citizens play a role in water conservation?
There are many, many things that we can do. There are big things and there are small things. The very important thing about water is that everyone makes a difference, and you can make a difference positively or you can make a difference negatively. Positive differences is that if you use water wisely, if you organize to recycle water in your household, if you use low flush systems in your household, if you have shorter showers, if you brush your teeth using water from a cup rather than letting water run, every one of those liters multiplies itself over 50 million people, and that is the positive impact on the system. You can also impact the system very negatively. So if you choose to pollute the water, then it takes much, much more water in order to deal with that pollution. So if you take 1 liter of motor oil, for example, and put it down the drain, it takes 1 million liters of clean water in order to mitigate the impact of that 1 liter of pollution that you put in. So we can make a difference. We do make a difference already. What we need to organize ourselves is to get into the thinking mode so that we make the difference positively rather than negatively. There are also things that we need to do at a system level. The first of the things that we need to do is to introduce some important game changers in our water management paradigm. So for example, if we move from the conventional sanitation systems that we have of waterborne sewage to using a combination of low flush systems and dry sanitation, because those technologies now actually exist in a very clean way, we are able to organize ourselves to put 30% more water back into the system immediately. This needs to be done. We need to get much more sophisticated about the way we treat polluted water. We need to upgrade our wastewater treatment plants, and we have to have new regimens of water treatment, like desalination, for example. So a combination of those factors will organize for us not only to have a better managed system, but it will greatly increase our water security and will organize for people to live in a much more responsible manner.
South Africa is classified as a dry country. What is the current state of water supply in our country?
Our current state of water supply is stable, but critically precarious. We are at the point where we are using almost all of the water that is available inside the system right now. So there's no fat in the system. We also did a series of studies as the Water Research Commission with partners like the Institute for Security Studies and examined what this would be like in the next 20 years. And the 2035 forecast is this, that in the next 20 years, with all of the dams we're building and all of the pipelines we're putting in, we will add another 2 billion cubic meters into the supply system. But if we continue to use the water in the way we're using it now and projecting that into the future, we are actually going to organize for ourselves to have a 1.1 billion cubic meter deficit in 20 years from now. So if we don't change the way we manage water today, we could have a very, very real water shortage in 20 years from now. Now, 1.1 billion cubic meters is a lot of water. It's 1.1 thousand million cubic meters of water. And there are very easy ways to get that back. So if we organize for greater efficiency in the way we use water in agriculture, for example, we will almost immediately win back some 500 million cubic meters. If we organize to deal with the water leaks in the system, which are currently more than 25%, we will get another 500 million cubic meters back in the system. If we organize to move to the sanitation change that I was talking about, there again, there's another 500 million that's available to us. So we could very feasibly, in the next 2 or 3 years, the introduction of these systems, already have the water security that we're going to need 20 years from now. But it does depend on what you and I do today.
Please tell us about the role of the Water Research Commission. What does the organization do?
Well, the Water Research Commission is a very unique entity in the world. It is a public entity, and it's a dedicated agency around research and development in water and sanitation issues. What we do is we provide the research and the knowledge to organize for the system to currently operate as best that it can, but more importantly, we supply the knowledge base and the innovation base to be able to make these big changes that we've been talking about. Our business is to organize for South Africa, Africa, and the world, because we work in partnership with many international partners, to be able to organize for tomorrow's water prosperity to be a lot better than today. It's about organizing for things like new desalination technologies to move to the next level of scope, better wastewater treatment, more complexities that are coming into the system to be dealt with, including new emerging contaminants, new pollutants. The energy budget associated with water management are all problems that we are entrusted to help to solve, so that we can organize for ourselves to be in a much more comfortable place with water and sanitation.
Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Despite the heavy rains we've had in our country lately, South Africa is still a water-scarce country. This is our water-saving tip for the week. When brushing your teeth and leaving the tap on, we waste a lot of water. Turn off the tap between brushing your teeth. Pour water into a glass instead and rinse your mouth with water from a glass. This is our water saving tip of the week. Don't forget to get in touch with the Department of Water and Sanitation. Our details are on the screen.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Water Diary right on SABC1, Mzansi for sure. It is brought to you by the Department of Water and Sanitation and SABC Education. Let's do it again next week, same time, same place. And remember, #SaveWater.
The Water Diary, brought to you by the Department of Water and Sanitation.